Hello, everyone. I was going to do Jaunts with Mercy as my next video, but this came up and I came across an article, so I'm going to do this video instead. And for the next few months, my videos may be out of sequence. I'm in the middle of moving and other things like that, so you'll just have to bear with me. But thanks for joining me for this. We're going to be talking about the globalists and their goals. The UN keeps us well informed of the New World Order's global agenda and their intent to go full steam ahead. In spite of what President Trump and his administration are trying to do, for instance, drain the swamp, the New World Order, with the help of its mouthpiece, the UN, is quickly trying to implement their global goals onto the world. The Democrats in Washington, D.C., who are globalists too, are definitely in cahoots in this implementation. The UN is launching a, quote, decade of action for the global goals starting now, close quote. If you are like me, you are probably asking yourself, what does this mean? Research their website and the answer becomes crystal clear. Agenda 2030. What goals are a priority for this global entity? Well, refugees. Refugees, no matter where you are a priority for the New World Order. It appears they want as many people displaced as possible. What exactly does that do? Well, for one, it creates chaos in multiple countries at one time or at the same time. Just look at the U.S.-Mexican border. The New World Order must have chaos to provide order, their motto, so to speak. Next is profits. Making a profit is such a high priority for the New World Order, they send out their puppets to market this demand on behalf of the globalist. For example, famous actors who, ironically, are paid a huge amount of profit to sway our opinion in favor of the global goals. An oxymoron. Not only that, but member states must shape the, quote, banking, insurance, and securities market so that money flows to deliver the goals, because the goals themselves need to be profitable investments, close quote. And I am quoting directly from the news.un.org at that website. Of course, you know that all my links will be in the description box. Okay, the next thing is suggestions for action. The globalists love telling us what we should or shouldn't do. Their campaign right now is for us to question everything and everyone, which ironically I thought we were doing, especially with the election of President Trump. But no, the globalists want us to question what they tell us to question. They do not want us thinking or questioning for ourselves. And the globalist aim? Their aim is to, quote, pull everyone together, all the expertise when it comes to engaging stakeholders in the implementation of the SDGs and accelerate implementation in the countries, close quote. And that full article is at www.un.org. That will also be in the description box. The interview goes on to say, quote, we have launched our civil national register to identify every child that is born, close quote. They are letting us know the B system is here. Not only is it here, but they are starting to implement it in other countries around the world. Every citizen of Sierra Leone is registered. A digital identity for all. Quote, in partnership with the government of Sierra Leone, UNDP, and UNCDF, we are in the process of implementing a digital identity and financial inclusion for every adult, close quote. If they have started implementing this, how long do you think it will be before it is being implemented here in America? Interlinked. Every country must be interlinked or intertwined to establish a one world order. How do they want to interlink countries? Through these goals. Quote, all of these goals are interlinked and you can no longer work on a solo approach, close quote. Reread that sentence. It is written in the present tense, which means all of these goals are interlinked and you can no longer work on a solo approach. We are already interlinked. They have the capabilities and are now implementing them in other countries. The 2030 Agenda. All of these goals are simply to reinforce and implement their agenda. The UN video interview goes on to say, quote, "We can do more to achieve the 2030 Agenda," close quote. And once again, the links will be in the description. How can they achieve the Agenda of 2030? Through SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. Quote, "Today at OECD, we launched the hub for the governance of SDGs," close quote. They now have a hub to govern SDGs. Let's take a look at what they call Sustainable Development Goals. The UN actually has a book club for kids on their website, which I'm sure the kids are forced to read as part of the curriculum, teaching children to accept the agenda and what Sustainable Development Goals are. There are 17 of these books, or should I say 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And they are no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation and infrastructure, raise your voice against discrimination, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice, and strong institutions and partnerships. I mean, this all sounds nice and good until you realize that you were not asked about this. We were not asked for our opinion on how we would like to be governed or how we would like to grow or so on and so forth. We are being told. By whom are we being told? Most of the people behind the global push or involved with the New World Order are the wealthy. They are bankers, politicians, actors, journalists, filmmakers, musicians, businessmen and women, just to name a few. And what do they all have in common? Money. How would people with money know about the plight of the poor? Better yet, why are the wealthy always begging the middle class to financially support the cause of the rich? Don't they have enough money between each other to eradicate poverty all over the world if they really wanted to? You'll find out it's because they don't really want to. It's a front. It's a ploy to further line their pockets by stealing from the common people as usual, or should I say stealing from the taxpayers. You must know what your enemy is up to. So we will go over all the SDGs individually. I hope you will stay tuned for that. I think this is really important.